Hello, I'm Dennis with Wallbeds. Today we're going to shoot a video showing how to install a hinging headboard on our bifold bookcase bed. I'm going to open this bed and show you what we're going to install. The new hinging headboard allows the customer to eliminate this gap that that the pillows can fall through by installing a hinging headboard that will come up and create a headboard to allow pillows to stay in place. And then as you go to close the bed, it will fall away, allowing the mattress to store away. Now this particular hinging headboard works best with a mattress that's 11 inches or less. At the end of this video there's a couple of how-tos to create a little more space so that it'll fit if your mattress currently works and by adding this headboard then doesn't work. So go ahead and watch this video and install this new hinging headboard, and it really creates a nice feature that will allow the pillows to be retained during the night. The parts will be the new headboard, which has some hinges on the back. There will be some hardware packs that we'll get into more detail as we get going. You'll find we call it a stretcher, has a couple of L brackets on either end. That will be another part for this process. And then there's an eccentric hinged headboard support system that we'll use, and again you'll find some hardware. So we'll go ahead and get started on the installation of this new part. Okay, the first step will be to remove the mattress from the next bed frame. So we'll slide that off. Now the frame will want to come up because of the weight of the mattress counterbalances it. So I'm kind of holding that down. We'll just kind of let that go up gently into its cabinet. We'll just set the mattress aside. The next step will be to remove about 3 of these slats on either side. The center slat holder on this center rail, this slat holder is open and it allows you to pop these out. I'm just going to simply push on this and then try and pull this side on the inside or on this center rail out. And I'll just go ahead and remove 3 of these slats on either side. That'll give us room to work back in there. Okay, now I've got my helper holding down this next bed frame so that it won't pop back up, because I'm going to be working kind of on the inside. And the first piece that we're going to attach is this hinged headboard support. And I found a 4mm Allen wrench in one of the hardware packets that we sent. So I'm just going to take this part. I'm going to step right in here, and then I'll just sit down right here in this center and work on this back here. Now I want to make sure that you get this piece oriented properly. You'll notice that we've shipped it with some barrel nuts, 4 of them across the bottom here, and kind of some slotted holes. And I'm going to go ahead and take those out. So I'm going to remove all of these. I'll leave the 2 that are in this adjustable portion in. They don't need to come out, but we've just shipped these with it here just to keep track of them. So I'll remove those. Okay, now I want to make sure you get this part oriented properly. So this is kind of an eccentric board, and it will go toward the front. These that will slide up and down on these adjustments here, they'll go toward the back or closer to the headboard. And I'm going to use these furniture screws that I pulled out of these slots, and you'll notice that there are 4 holes going across this frame. And I'm just going to use these in those holes. 1.5 inch furniture screws. They go through the frame there, and they'll go through this slot. There's one slot in each one, and then I'll use the barrel nut, kind of holding everything together there. I'll use the barrel nut and just thread that in, kind of hold it in place, and then I'll go through and attach all of these barrel nuts. You don't want to tighten them down yet. I'm just going to get all 4 in and get them finger tight. The last one. Okay, so I've got all those furniture screws and the barrel nuts in place, and I'm just going to adjust this so it's basically in the center. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I just want this kind of in the center here, and once that's there, then I'm just going to go ahead and tighten all of these barrel nuts and furniture screws down with that 4mm Allen wrench that was sent. And I'll just go ahead and snug that up quite tight. On all 4 of them. So you'll get all 4 of those nice and tight. Okay, now I've gotten those all tightened up. I just used my finger on the backside and tightened them up. That seems to hold just fine. I just want to make sure that this adjustable part, if this were loosened, this adjusts up and down, and we'll use that in a minute. But I want to make sure that's adjusted just all the way down and out of the way for right now. Kind of gets out of the way when we're installing the headboard. Okay, now I'm getting the headboard prepared to install the hinging headboard with the hinges on the back. Now, this segment is only if you have light kit. If you have a light kit, meaning you have the touch controller on the existing headboard that runs the lights in the bed, we're going to have you move that to this portion of the headboard so your guests can reach it. So again, this is only if you have a light kit. I'm going to take this hinged headboard, just lay it down right here. All right, now we've sent a new touch plate, and we'll need to install that touch plate onto this new headboard. The old touch plate we'll just abandon that. That'll just stay behind. Nobody will see it. It won't work anymore. But we've also sent a single lead wire, and I'm just going to go ahead and thread that single lead wire right down. I'm going to take the wire, and I'm just going to kind of bend it so that or not bend it, but just twist it so that the eyelet, the wire comes out to the side. So I'll get both of those in, and that will be the new touch controller for the light kit if your bed has lights. The next step will be to install the actual hinging headboard, and the back of the headboard has these piano hinges on it, and I will flange those to a 90 degree so they're sticking out. From one of the hardware packs, I've found some 5/8 inch wood screws, and I've also made sure that I have my power driver right here handy. So I'm just setting it here on the frame. Now I'm going to take that headboard and slip it between these sideboards, and it'll be somewhat close. And then because I have those hinges out at about a 90 degree angle, and I'm keeping my hand against this because it will slip off, I'm going to keep this pushed back, and I'm going to center this new headboard between these two sideboards. It leaves about 1/4 of an inch over on this side so that this headboard can hinge. Now, back here, there are holes for those these hinges, and this is where you run these 5/8 inch wood screws right down into those holes, and you're essentially screwing that right into the top of that old headboard that won't be used anymore. So I'll just go ahead and run those screws in. Just going to get all these screws in all the way across this headboard. Okay, I've got the hinges attached to the top of the existing headboard, and if I have a light kit, that wire will just drop right down the bottom, right underneath this new headboard, and now we'll plug that in. All right, now the existing headboard just has a wire, just a single lead wire that plugs into this control box back here. I'm just going to unplug that. That particular single lead wire that went to your headboard will no longer be necessary. But I'm going to take now the new single lead wire that came, that's dangling behind this headboard, and I'm going to plug it in. And now the old wire, you can actually just cut that off. We're just going to leave that where it is in place, connected to that touch plate, and it'll be fine there. So now I've got the new wire connected from the hinged headboard. Okay, now I'm ready to adjust this support system for this headboard. Now this headboard's going to come up and get caught on these locks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just loosen this so that this will adjust up and down. and I'm going to bring this headboard forward until it's just barely, probably 1/8 of an inch or so. The bottom of this headboard now is about 1/8 of an inch from the top of this support plate so that it'll clear. And once it's there, then I'm just going to, make sure I got that right. Then I'm just going to tighten that Allen wrench down in place. So that'll kind of hold that in place. We'll secure that in a minute. And then I'll do the same thing on this other side. Just make sure that this is loose so that I can make a quick adjustment. I'll adjust this up till where it just clears. It's probably clearing by about 1/8 of an inch or so. Then I'll tighten that down. And then this headboard will pull forward and slip over those locks and hold in place. That's what we're trying to accomplish here. Okay, so this will now support this headboard, and they're hard to see, but there are also 2 holes on either side of this adjustable slot. If this mattress retainer is too much in your way, you can actually just remove it because the mattress will now be retained by this. But in this situation, we don't have to remove it, so I'm not going to. But if you want to, you can remove this part. But right down here, there's a couple of holes that we're going to run some wood screws in. But I'm not going to do that now until we get the mattress in and make sure that this works properly. Okay, now the headboard works by when this mattress will go up, that headboard will just drop out of the way and allow room for the mattress. And then when it's back down, you can pull this forward and again engage it. So that's kind of how the headboard works. We'll make the final adjustments and put in some screws here in a few minutes. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and reinstall these slats, and we're going to test this mattress now with this new headboard. So I'm going to slip the slat into the pocketed side on the side rail, and then I'm going to bend the slat slightly and slip it back in. Now, I'm going to get them all back in, and really we're just getting it ready to test the mattress to make sure the mattress will fit into this area now with that adjustable headboard, but we need these in to test it. So I'll just quickly slip these back in. Okay, now your kit came with an additional stretcher board, and this is a precautionary stretcher board in case the mattress now doesn't fit properly inside your bed. Essentially what we've done is we've reduced the space between this surface and the headboard by 3/4 of an inch by adding that new headboard. So I've put things back together. I'm going to put the mattress in and test it, and then if there's a problem with it fitting, then that's when you'll use this. So this will only be in the case that the mattress now doesn't fit quite right. All right, now I've got the mattress installed, and I'm just going to watch the operation of the headboard. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. Make sure it falls back to the wall. I'm going to pull this forward to make sure it comes and latches in properly. If it doesn't latch in properly, then you might need to make a slight adjustment on that locking mechanism. I'm just going to try it a couple of times. Make sure that okay, so it's working properly. Now the very last thing is to put in some wood screws which will hold those permanently in place. So I'm going to slide this mattress back and just run 2 more wood screws in, and then we're done. Okay, to permanently hold these in place, or semi-permanently, I'm going to run some 1.5 inch wood screws in. And you'll notice that there's a couple of relief holes or little holes right here that allows for that screw just to go in. And I will put 2 of them in on either side. That'll really hold that adjustable plate there. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now I've got the mattress back in place here, and I'm just going to go ahead and close it just like I normally would. And if this mattress closes, and the head and these bifold bookcase bed and these bifold bookcases close comfortably, and don't want to pop back out, then you're done. However, if there's a problem in that now the mattress is too thick for that area, now we need to use that additional stretcher and make some adjustments. We appreciate your business at Wilding Wallbeds and hope that this video has helped in the installation of your new hinging headboard. If you have any questions, just dial the 800 number at the bottom of this page for customer service. Thank you. Okay, to troubleshoot a mattress not fitting, we're just going to go ahead and lower the mattress, take the mattress back out, and I'm actually going to now take those 3 slats out on either side again to make some adjustments. Okay, solving the problem where the mattress won't fit after installing a hinging headboard, there's kind of 2 steps that we want to look at. We need to gain more space between the bed frame and the new headboard, essentially. So the first thing you'll want to do is, of course, we've removed the slats and the mattress again, and now I'm just kneeling down here, and the front edge of this frame, we want to make sure that the front edge of this frame is right up against this existing stretcher. In other words, there's no room that's really touching. If there's room there, then this may be the only thing you need to do is make an adjustment on this frame. Okay, there's a nut and bolt here that attaches to a wall mount bracket, and I'm going to just loosen these with a 1/2 inch wrench and a socket. And we'll want to check this on both sides too, just make sure that that frame's right against that. Okay, now I'm going to loosen them so that they're pretty loose. Obviously, we won't be able to pull down the bed right now because they're not tightened. So now I'm going to come out here and I'm going to slide this frame forward until it is right up against the back of that stretcher board. So, and then I'm going to tighten them, and I'll test the mattress again just to make sure it's going to fit. Okay, I'm going to put the slats back in, I'm going to put the mattress back on and see if I've gained enough space for that mattress to fit. And if it's gained enough space, then we can do the final step. All right, now as a worst case scenario where you have to continue to move that frame forward to make the mattress fit because it's just too thick. I've gotten the stretcher, I've tested it, now I'm going to get back inside here. I've got this new stretcher, and it's got the L brackets. I'm going to make sure that the L brackets are up, and I'm going to slip this back here now. I'm going to put one side in, down as close to the bottom as I can, and then bring the other side in. Now I've got that stretcher as far down, it's actually resting on the frame, and I'm going to slide it all the way until it hits the back of this next bed frame. And then I'm going to climb out and we'll shut this. It's easier to work with the frame up. Okay, now I've got some 3/4 inch pan head screws, and I'm just going to anchor this new stretcher in place back here, right behind. It's actually touching the frame. So I'll anchor that side. I'm going to make sure that these screws are tight going down as well, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. The next step, now that I've got that new stretcher in place, is to remove this stretcher, which will allow us to move that frame another 3/4 inch forward if we need to, which will now be more than plenty to get the mattress in because we took up 3/4 inch and we've already gained some. So the stretcher that's existing, it has some cam fittings that attach to these sideboards, and to get to them I'll use a Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to go in from behind, and you will see where those connect. I'm just going to loosen that stretcher, those cam fittings, and there's 2 on either side. You'll just have to look in here and find them because it's hard to video clear back in here. I'm going to loosen that up, and I'm going to just pull the stretcher forward and then slide it out. Now the next step is, now that we've got this front stretcher out, is to just take a tape measure. We just don't want to bring this frame any farther forward than the 3/4 inch that we've just taken that stretcher out. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of tape right there on the floor. Okay, so I've got a piece of tape down here. I'm going to try and slide this frame forward. Now there's a possibility that I'm kind of at the max adjustment on those nuts and bolts back in the back. If that's the case, I'll know it and I'll just move one of the nuts and bolts to the next hole back to give me more adjustability. And so now I'm just going to slide this forward until I'm right basically to that 3/4 inch or 3/4 inch forward, so I'm right to that tape. And now I'll get back in and tighten it down. I'll do the same thing on the other side, and now we'll have moved this frame further forward than we've taken up space with this new hinged headboard. Okay, if you've had to make all these adjustments, now this gap between this support member here and the hinged headboard will be too much. So I'm going to loosen that up and I'm going to bring that up again to where it's just below that headboard surface, so that locking system gets a nice bite. Just that up till I get it. So I've just got a gap enough for that headboard to operate properly. And now when we go to shut the bed, it'll drop out of the way and we'll want to test it. All right, now I've got the mattress installed and I'm just going to watch the operation of the headboard. So I'm going to go ahead and open it, make sure it falls back to the wall. I'm going to pull this forward to make sure it comes and latches in properly. If it doesn't latch in properly, then you might need to make a slight adjustment on that locking mechanism. I'm just going to try it a couple of times. Make sure that okay, so it's working properly. Now the very last thing is to put in some wood screws which will hold those permanently in place. So I'm going to slide this mattress back and just run 2 more wood screws in and then we're done. Okay, to permanently hold these in place, or semi-permanently, I'm going to run some 1.5-inch wood screws in. And you'll notice that there's a couple of relief holes or little holes right here that allows for that screw just to go in. And I will put 2 of them in on either side. That'll really hold that adjustable plate there. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. We appreciate your business at Wilding Wallbeds and hope that this video has helped in the installation of your new hinging headboard. If you have any questions, just dial the 800 number at the bottom of this page for customer service. Thank you.